Hey guys, I am so annoyed by a topic and I have to talk about it with you guys. So, for my whole life, I've struggled with my height because I'm very tall, and I'm now gonna explain to you how tall. So, in Switzerland, the average height is 165, which is not even that short. 165, okay, it's the average. Me, I'm 181. My best friend, which is, by the way, 16 centimeters taller than the average. One of my best friends, she's 161, 162, which is 4 centimeters below average. I am, as you can maybe tell, I'm like 4 times more not the average than her because I'm 16 centimeters taller than the average. She's 6 centimeters shorter. Okay, why am I talking about this? So, I kind of want to talk about pretty privilege and or generally privileges, even though people don't realize they hold it and they keep making comments about something that is actually a privilege and don't realize that it's actually bothering people around them. So for me, it was always a huge disadvantage that I'm so tall because, first of all, especially for my teenage me, like guys did not like tall girls. It's just a rule. Yeah, maybe in the media, oh my god, she's so tall, she's so pretty. No, in real life, maybe some women come up to you in the bathroom in the club and they're like, oh, I love your height. But that's all. Like, other than that, guys prefer small, cute girls. For sure. Like, when I was clubbing, I never got spoken to. It was always my short friends. Yeah. So that's one thing that really, for me, it was probably one of the worst things about being tall. Because in the end, I think most people crave people's attention and like validation, and I didn't really get it, and I think it's partly because of my height. Then also it was hard finding clothes because everything is too short. Yeah, that's a very basic disadvantage, but it's something that keeps following you, and I got used to it now, but like it's not cool. For example, the cool pants you get at H&M and Zara or whatever, they're usually always too short. So when I was a teenager and I wanted to fit in, I always had to go to more expensive stores and get like extra long jeans, which I don't know, it's just something small. But and then there's other things like, of course, the bed is kind of short for you, and I don't know, sometimes you just want to be like the rest of the group, or actually most of the time, especially as a teenager, you don't want to be different, or most people don't want to be different. You just want to fit in, or that's what was the case with me. Same with, you don't like to be much more thinner than the rest, you don't want to be much bigger than the rest of the people, or you don't want, I don't know, you just want to kind of fit in. Even though maybe you have your quirks, you want to generally fit in. And then that's what gets me so annoyed. Like, I sometimes talk about my height, but I don't talk about it too much anymore. Often it's people telling me like, oh my god, you're so tall, or, and I'm used to it. I don't really care about that anymore, and it's not that often because I still am nearly normal. Like, I'm 6 foot and I'm not like a 6'5" woman, so it's okay. But then there's so many people who are around the average, like so many girls, I mean, and still manage to always complain about how short they are. And I get so pissed, and I need to tell them every time, not every time, but often, like, oh, but you're the average, like the average is 165, and they're like, yeah, but still, like, I'm so short. And it really, it bothers me so much. And maybe there's something I don't understand, but I just think rationally, and I just always compare it to the average. And if someone is like 155, like, of course, obviously, not obviously, but yeah, that's very short. That's really not the average. It's 10 centimeters below. But 160 or 165, like, bro, that is basically the average. So yeah, I always get really frustrated with people when they talk about things like that. Or they say like they're so big, and actually they're pretty normal. Or today, what was the case was girls complaining about like at my work, even the smallest size is pretty big on me. And I just get so bothered because you still fit into it. If you're bigger than your available clothes, then you don't fit and you cannot do anything about it. And so I wonder sometimes why those people don't think outside of the box and maybe have some empathy for people that are worse off. The same with certain people. For example, I get very frustrated about inequality in the world. And when I talk to my friends, often they just talk about, yeah, I find it so unfair. Like, I would also like to go more vacation. And I always think, girl, it's not about you. It's about people who live in a war zone, or like who live and grew up without parents and having to work since like 12 years old. So those things, sometimes I wonder why people don't have empathy with like other people who are worse off. And maybe it happens to myself. If I ever talk about something and you're like, girl, it's not that much of a deal, please tell me, because it's something that really bothers me in other people, especially people who complain like about how small and short and cute they are. It really, I hate it, because that's what is desired, and I don't really see a disadvantage in it. Maybe you're a little too short to reach something, yeah, maybe that's a disadvantage. But other than that, like, you find clothes, you're cute, everything, I really don't get the problem with it. But yeah, maybe also I'm talking from a privilege point, I don't know. But I'm talking from a point that not many people can understand. And being very tall is really annoying sometimes, trust me. So if you ever wonder why you're so short, or like if you ever think about you would like to be taller, think about it twice. It's not that great actually. But yeah, that was my point about like short, cute girls wanting attention. Or maybe it's not that they want attention, but basically, yeah, it is, because yeah, I have to talk about my one friend once more. And I told her that it annoys me. Like, I told her that it annoys me when she points out how small her feet are, because that's cute, you know, and it's not a disadvantage. Like, my feet size, I usually, like, in 95% of the stores I cannot get it, except it's for shoes for men, and that's an actual problem. If you have a small shoe size but it's still available in each and every store, what is the problem? Why do you have to complain when it's not an actual problem? Yeah, sorry, I had to kind of rant.